Today's video is going to be just me showing you how much rain we've got, just a little clip of that, and then repotting the flowers that Donald bought me for date day today, and just a few things around the garden after all the rain that we had. So I'm just sharing some garden goodies with you today. I hope you have a great day. I'm glad that you're here. Here are the white cucumbers. Right here are the tomatoes. They're pretty big. I'm trying to decide if I need to pot these into another container or just go ahead and straight sow them into the garden. It has rained. This is the marigolds. I've got some new plantings in here. Look at the little peach tree. Look at the little peaches on there. And the chickens. Good morning, girls. We're in the garden and you can see, look how big the plants are. Oh my goodness, this is the zucchini, the different plants that I've got. They are definitely time to get them in the ground. I'm going to have to do that this week. I set them out here to harden off so that I could go ahead and get them planted. I am going to have to get the loppers out and trim some of these elderberry bushes back because they're just encroaching over the garden too much. We like them to be here some to provide some shade, but we don't want to totally shade the area. So the weeds haven't grown too much. Got a few weeds to pull out of here. When we plant the garden, you can see this is how shaded it gets, but it got more sun earlier in the morning today. So everything will get enough sun out here. I'm not worried about that. It rained yesterday. It was thunderstorms and just a lot of rain. Let me check real quick and see if there are any eggs. We got a few. I'll just cup up my shirt and carry in what we got here. They won't lay till a little bit later. It's time to start thinking about more egg dishes so I can use up some of our fresh eggs. Okay, I showed you the garden in the back. We've got to get it planted. Things are more than big enough to be planted. Today was date day, so me and Donald had a good date day. But he had to go and do some things this afternoon, so I wasn't able to go along with him. You can see how much rain. This is how much rain we got just yesterday. Just yesterday. 1 3/4. Or is that 1 1/2? I think it's 1 1/2. No, it's actually 2 inches of rain. Yep, 2 inches. So we got 2 inches of rain yesterday. Being sure to empty it every day so I can get an accurate reading. Yeah, it was rain. It was a lot of rain. It was thunderstorms. We had thunderstorms. Everything has busted out in beauty. I got this today on date day. I got to clean it up a little bit. I was kind of disappointed when I was picking them out. I wanted to get geraniums, and I think we gave about $25 for this. see if right where the price tag is. It's somewhere on it. We got it at Tractor Supply. Right here it is. Oh no, it's $19. Yeah. And I was a little disappointed because it's in kind of rough shape. I'm going to have to get my clippers out and clip off some of the dead down here. I love geraniums though. I'm glad I wanted to get a pot of them. I try to get a pot every year. Sometimes I just buy individual and make my own pot. But I thought this year that one would be good. It was $19 and then there was a discount on it. But they were looking rough. A lot of those flowers are looking rough. They got them out for Mother's Day. Mother's Day's coming up here in May. And it's just hard to find anything that looks really good. Now everything is lush from the rain. We did look for a trellis for this particular pink rosebush climber, but there was not a lot to choose from, and the few trellises that we looked at was really flimsy. We don't need a flimsy one here. This is going to take a heavy duty trellis to hold up this climbing rose. Donald did cut it back to the ground. It took it 3 years to bloom again, and so he's not cutting it back to the ground anytime soon. He's just going to go ahead and prune it. We're going to keep it up. We've got to get it esplayed up onto a trellis, but we need a heavy duty one. He may have to make it himself. So this thing is leaning over, but it is still beautiful. The little pink buds and roses on this rose bush is really pretty. When we pulled in today in the driveway, I just was like, wow. Just look how beautiful the yard looks. Look how beautiful all of those roses and all those flowers are in this yard this year. Some springs are like this, and some springs are a little more, not quite as full blooming as we've had this year. But this year is a good year. And after all this rain, I mean, everything is just coming out as it should. The lacy elderberry's coming back. The sage is looking really good. The rosemary, where we cut back the dead part, the living part is looking good. I noticed some of my Passiflora incarnatas coming back to grow up this bed frame that I've got here in the garden. I use as a trellis. So everything is really exciting at this time of the year. Everything is just beautiful. And the rain did a lot of good. I'm going to take this over to the potting table and I'm going to trim off some of the stuff that doesn't look so great on it. Donald and I like to come out here and sit. Put this on the new potting table. Let me see if I can get some of the clippers. Let me find the clippers here. I've still got to get things rearranged. I don't have things arranged like I want them. Might take me a little bit. And I'm just going to take off some of these already dead flowers. Clean this up. Get some of the not so desirable leaves off of it. That would be good to go into the gardening book that I keep. It's just a notebook, and I keep a lot of expenditures and things in that. I would like to go ahead and put that in the gardening book, and that'll remind me what I paid last year for my geranium. Me and Donald had a good start to our date day. We went out and ate lunch and just enjoyed time together. We had to pick up animal feed and stuff from Tractor Supply anyway, so we swung by there, and he wanted to buy, you know, a gift. He did. He wanted to buy me a flower, and so flowers are part of date day. I certainly accepted that, and this is what I chose. I'm just going to take a minute and clean it up. The flowers did not look really good for the price. They were way high this year. And you know, I don't mind paying for things that are worth it, but I just felt like that they hadn't taken care of the flowers once they got there, so they were looking rough and they were not worth the price that they had on them. I don't mind paying for value. I just want them to be in good condition when I purchase them. If I'm going to pay $20 for a plant, $25 for a plant, I like them to look healthy and pretty, you know. So everything was high, not everything looked good, but I was happy with these geraniums. You can see right here on the back side where they were pushed up in against all those other plants, that they are looking a little sad here. Now I'm thinking about going ahead and putting these in a decorative planter that I have, and just giving them a little more potting soil and giving them a little more space, and they'll probably do a little better. See all this fluff and stuff I'm having to cut off here. They had a lot of beautiful plants out for Mother's Day, but they hadn't really taken very good care of them. I don't know if that's like that everywhere. Probably not, just that particular place that we went to today. I'm just going to trim it up. And I think I've probably got a bigger container here. Just get it looking a little better. Looking a little prettier. That's looking some better. It needs to be watered, which I'll do that here in a minute. Let me look around and see if I've got a pot that would be prettier in. I found this pot here. It was right over there beside of the house, you know, beside of the steps. I have put some stuff in it last year. So I'm just going to throw some of this dirt out to have room to put it down in here. This pot's not a lot bigger than the one that it's in. That the one that the geraniums are already in. But I'm just going to see what I can do here. Take out some of this so I can put the plant in. I need to put a compost pile somewhere over here. A compost bin so I can put the compost that I'm repotting. You know, the compost I'm taking out and the things that I'm clipping off of the plants are like right here. I need a little compost bin over here in the corner somewhere. Put these things in. Now this soil has been used. It was used last year, but it was new in here last year. So I probably will put a little bit of food, maybe some Osmocote, a little bit of flower food in here for these geraniums. Geraniums are fairly easy to grow, so I won't have to worry a lot about what to put in for them. They like full sun, which is good. Right here in front of my house, I get a lot of full sun. Taking me a minute to get all of this dug out. Okay, let me see if I can fit this down in, see how it looks. Just by setting the pot, it looks like it's going to need a little more dug out of it. So, but I like the way it's going to look in this pot. And it's repurposed and reusing something that I've already had. Yeah, I decided to add a little bit of Osmocote to it because this is, you know, it'll be enough food probably for the whole year for it. It's kind of time released. You just mix it into the soil. You don't need a whole lot, and I won't need a whole lot for this little plant here. So I'm just going to follow the directions on this Osmocote. Now this is good for vegetables and flowers, and you can put it on edible plants, so it's not real harmful. I'm going to just sprinkle in a little, not an excessive amount. I don't know how long it's been since this plant's been fed from the nursery, and I want to make sure it has a good start here for this year. So I'm going to try to lift it down in here and see if I've got this deep enough. Now tilting it out, it looks like the roots look good. It's not overly root bound. I am going to loosen these roots just a little bit as I put them down in this pot. I didn't bring my tripod, so I couldn't show you me doing that. It took both hands, but it fits in this pot well. Looks good. It looks a little more elevated. That's a little nicer pot than what it came in here. Came in this little, well, it was actually a hanging basket, but the basket hanger on it was broken, which I didn't want to use it for a hanging basket anyway, so that didn't matter. And I'm going to go ahead and put soil down around the edges of this plant and try to keep it as straight as I can, hoping that it's giving it a good break, a good fresh air, and having new soil, giving this plant a new opportunity to produce. There's a few things I'm still going to have to take off of it. Some blooms that are spent. More blooms will come out on it. It'll be pretty. Hopefully it'll do well. I'm going to go ahead and just put the soil around here, around the edge. Going to mix a little bit of Osmocote, not a lot. A little bit of this goes a long way. I'm going to mix it in. And just put it around the edges here where this needs soil. Just go around and do that all the way around. Okay, there it is. It's looking good. I like the way it looks. It's pretty. Now I'm going to move it over here into the sun, put it in my space. I just set it right here beside the porch. I've got to give it water because I transferred it and it needs water. But I thought it would look good right here beside the porch. And the peonies are blooming. I've got to stand these up. My goodness. They're just always heavy. Donald said, why is that flower so heavy? The stem can't hold it up. I don't know. It's just the way peonies are. I've got these caged up. But evidently it's not enough. Aren't they beautiful? They're still worth growing. They're still beautiful. All that rain did the clematis wonderful. Wonderful. Blooms have popped out all over it. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but this is the Nellie Moser. It's a dark purple one. And here is a lavender one. I don't know the name of it, but it's a lighter color. And then I have one that's even lighter than this. Of course, this one's not as prolific. You don't notice it as much. These Nellie Mosers, I mean, they really fill up the space. They loved the rain. And they're just showing off. Beautiful, just as beautiful as they can be. That peace rose has got a few roses falling off, and then it's got plenty coming on. It's got some new blooms. This one just opened up today. That's a beautiful rose. I set the little geranium pot that I just repotted right here beside the steps. Most people go up and hold on to the right hand side. The raspberries over here beside the potting bench already have green berries forming. I don't know if you can see them right here, but they're already forming. Little Stormy loves those raspberries. She'll be excited to know that they're producing, that there's already raspberries producing. And we'll have to get out here early and get to them before the birds do. The birds love the raspberries. It's a Nandina bush. There, they've picked off a clump of them. I've got to get over here and get that beautiful begonia out from under everything and get it out, because that's one of my favorite flowers also. So that beautiful potted plant will be right here beside the steps when you come up. There it is. More beautiful clematis over here. Growing beside of this rose bush here. Everything just filling out, coming back. I had to put a little 7 dust on my Passiflora incarnata, my passion flower that grows up here. You know, I thinned it out because it just takes over this middle garden, and I only need it to go up this trellis right here. So I did thin this out. So not a lot of it's come back this year. I was sure happy to see the parts of it that did. I don't want to get rid of my Passiflora incarnata. It's one of my favorite things in the garden. And I do make the passion flower jelly from the fruit of it. But everything is thickening up. We'll be seeing blooms before you know it. I'll share with you what changes and what's blooming currently as it comes out. Here's the money tree. It's already bloomed right here. These are the seed pods, and they will get clear. I'll show it to you when they dry out. If you're not familiar with the money tree, my friend Anna gave me this, and I really love it. Had that beautiful purple bloom on it, and then it has these beautiful seed pods. You can use them in flower arrangements, or certainly save seeds to share with a friend. The rose bush over here on the side, it did bloom. There's a clematis also over here blooming with this rose bush, but this is the north side, kind of shaded side of the house, so we don't get a lot of as many blooms over here. It's a shade loving area. It's just cool, dark and cool and dark green on this side of the house. This is where I want to put the potting shed, right here on this side of the fence. I want it to be rectangular, kind of long shaped, to just fill in this little space so I can put all these pots and a lot of things in it. It's quiet over here. Of course, we have neighbors that live right here, very close to my area where I garden. I have built the path to the potting shed so that when it gets here, or when we are able to build it, it'll already have a place ready for it. I'm going to repot these hanging baskets this year. This is just some water. It caught some of the rain. This is a maple tree that I planted in here. I thought it would be pretty, maybe on a deck or something. You know, I just thought it was pretty. Plenty of stuff growing up in here, but all of this has got to go in a potting shed. It's tools and soil and pots that I'm gonna use sometime, some way, somehow. I could donate them probably to a garden, you know, a garden club or something. Maybe I'll do that. But I've got a lot of pots out here. More seed starting mix. This, of course, is a different brand. It was $1 more, but we were already there. Donald didn't want to make another trip to go somewhere else to pick it up. He said, you know, we'll just pay the extra $1 per bag, and then we'll have it. Here is the basil that I put in this pot. Got to give it some water. It didn't catch any of the rain. If I find water in anything, rainwater, I just go ahead and use it. That'll make it happier. I'm gonna come in. I've got what I wanted to get done achieved. I got that geranium repotted into a bigger pot. I'll have to water that in really good. I don't want to put water on it in this hot sun. I think I'll wait for it to cool off. The basil was under the porch overhang, so it wasn't quite in direct sun. It wasn't as hot. Okay to put a little water around that dirt, around the roots, not on the leaves. But I'm going to wait just a little bit to water that geranium, but then I'll get it watered in. Thank you for coming along with me and let me share repotting my geranium with you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it inspired you to do something in the garden today. Like always, until next time.